Turn in your Bibles to the book of 2 Corinthians chapter 9. 2 Corinthians chapter 9. You use this verse often when you have your prayer and your Bible reading before the offerings. So we're going to look at exactly what is it talking about when it says that the Lord loveth a cheerful giver. Okay? 2 Corinthians chapter 9, what does the Bible say about giving? What does it say about tithing? What does it say about first fruits and vows? And should it be public? Should it be private? Who should get the glory for your giving? Well, some of these should be very easy, but for some reason we make them hard. The answers to these questions. So hopefully you are there by now. 2 Corinthians chapter 9, it says, "For as touching the ministering to the saints, it is superfluous." That means machado, means sobra. Okay? "It is superfluous for me to write to you. For I know the forwardness of your mind, for which I boast of you to them of Macedonia, that Achaia was ready a year ago. For your zeal hath provoked very many." Now, Macedonia is a province. There's no church at Macedonia. It's churches, plural. There's no church of Philippines. There's many churches in the Philippines, same in Macedonia. The country of Greece. Today, you look on the map, you see Greece, right? A bunch of islands. Well, during the time of the Romans, that Greece that we see on the map today was split into two, Achaia and Macedonia. Corinth is in Achaia. And here Paul is writing to the church at Corinth, which is in Achaia, and he's saying, you guys are doing a good job. Those guys in Macedonia, they're not doing such a good job. So you are an encouragement to them to do better. Don't be like the church at Macedonia, be like the church at Corinth. Okay, you might have heard it differently, but that's what it's saying. Okay, he's saying, your zeal has provoked very many. And it says, "Yet have I said the brethren, lest our boasting of you should be in vain in this behalf, that as I said, ye may be ready. Lest haply, if they of Macedonia come with me and find you unprepared, we, that we say not you, should be ashamed of this same confident boasting." So he's saying, I told them that you would be ready. You were ready for an offering to give to people in Jerusalem 1 year. And Macedonia has not been as generous as you. Macedonia has been dragging their feet. They don't want to give like you are willing to give. Okay, this is the church in Corinth. This is a carnal church. Now there's other churches in Achaia. Yes. But this is an epistle written to the church in Corinth. And he's saying, you guys are doing a good job. Make sure that what I expect of you, that you had your offering ready a year ago. And I can tell, that's what I told the Macedonians, make sure it's true that what you told me is really correct. So that the Macedonians will be energized and be encouraged to hurry up and get their gift that they want to give to the people in Jerusalem ready. Okay, so do you want to be like the church of Macedonia or no? No, you don't, because they're the ones that were not ready. Do you want to be like the church in Achaia, the churches in Achaia, such as the church in Corinth? Yes, you do, because they are the ones that have their money ready for a year already. Okay? So, Paul says, verse 5. So what is Paul doing here? He's saying, hey, Corinth, I told the churches in Macedonia, get their offering ready. Their gift that they're going to give to the people in Jerusalem who are going through a persecution and a hard time and a famine. You guys said you're going to give a gift. But Achaia, the churches around, not just Corinth, but half of Greece, they're ready and have been ready for 1 year. But the churches in Macedonia not being very generous. In fact, we actually learned that while Paul was in Macedonia, he was hard up, he was bankrupt, and the church in Thessalonica had to come to his aid and rescue him. So, verse 5 says, "Therefore I thought it necessary to exhort the brethren." Paul's saying exhort. I need to encourage. I need to build up. That's what exhort means. I need to build you guys up, encourage you for what? That they would go before unto you and make up beforehand your bounty. That's the offering they were going to give. That's the bounty. "Whereof ye had noticed before, that the same might be ready as a matter of bounty and not as of covetousness." So he's saying, I don't want you to have your offering ready, how to remain covetous. I don't want you and you today, this year, and this day, in this church, at this time, on this Sunday, should not be giving your offering out of covetousness. Okay, because you want to receive something, some praise that does not belong to you. When you give, it should not be about covetousness. I want people to praise me. Don't be covetous. When Achaia and Macedonia should be giving, it should not be because the other one was giving and I'm not. I want to be better than them. I'm going to give because I'm better than they are. Don't give because of covetousness. But this I say, verse 6, he which soweth sparingly shall reap also sparingly. And he which soweth bountifully shall reap also bountifully. So you know what that means? That means if you give, God's going to give back even more money. Is that what it says? It says if you give liberally, bountifully, if you sow bountifully, God's going to give you money back bountifully. Is that what it says? Well, what's God going to give you then? Let's find out. Every man according as he purposeth in his heart, so let him give, not grudgingly or necessity, for God loves a cheerful giver. Remember verse 8. We'll get back to verse 7 later. And God is able to make. This is what you're going to get. This is what is going to abound. Good. All grace. That's what's going to abound. So if you're out there saying, I'm going to give money to this and I'm going to give money to that, I'm not going to do it for my praise. I'm not going to do it out of covetousness. I'm going to do it that I might abound in receiving what? Money. How do you spell money? How do you spell grace? They both have 5 letters in their word. Must be the same thing. Must be the same thing. How about an amen? Shame. Okay, God is able to allow you to receive a bounty. And guess what that bounty is? Not money, it's grace. Okay? Grace is something that you don't deserve, that you do not work for, that you do not earn. It is everything that is given to you because of what Christ did on the cross for you. Okay? So when you give, it's for God's glory and not in covetousness, not for your own praise or for your own glory. When you do that, and you give bountifully, that means you give sacrificially, you give a lot, much that you can. And God is going to return that, not with money, but with praise. Could He make it with money? Sure. You know what else He could do? When you're giving to God, and you're faithful, and you're sacrificially giving, you know what He did to one guy? He killed his children. All of them. And He destroyed his wealth. Gone. Bankrupt. Well, he turned his wife against him. His wife said, curse God and die. And then God allowed him to have boils, head to toe, all over his body. And then God had his friends, allowed his friends to turn against this man. What was his name? Job. And the lost people, they look at Job and they say, oh, what a vengeful, silly guy. He lost the bet with Satan and now he takes it out on poor Job. No. Job was rewarded. That was Job's reward for his faithfulness. What was it that Job could receive by getting this? He could receive the ability to give God glory. That's what he was able to do. That's what our life is all about. It's about being able to give God glory. And because Job was faithful and mature in his walk with God, God says, Job, I'm going to give you once in a millennia opportunity to give me glory before Satan and before the demons forever, written in heaven. Job, I'm going to give you something that no one gets. I'm going to allow you the opportunity. This is what drives Job. This is what gets Job out of the bed in the morning. This is what Job wants above every other thing. Whether what he eats, what he drinks, is that he gives glory to God. Amen. And God says, Job, I'm going to give you, your dream is going to come true. Now, did Job want his children to die? No. He wanted his children to live. But what was more important to Job? God's glory or the long life of his children? More important to Job was that God received glory. I have 8 children. I don't want any. 7 of them I don't want to die. Just kidding. I'm not going to tell you which one. One of them, I'm just kidding. But more than I want long life and prosperity for my children, I want God to glorify me with my life. If God comes and says, hey, guess what, Evangelist? I'm going to wipe your family out. We're all going to die. You're going to get boils and all your friends are going to turn against you. I would say, well, all my friends already turned against me, so that's fine, all right? I would say, God, if that's how you want to glorify yourself, let it be. If God says, hey, I'm going to take you home, I'd say, God, if that will glorify you, then so be it. That's my dream. My dream come true. If God says, I'm going to have you live to be 119 years old, I would say, God, may you be praised and honored and glorified. That's why I live. That's why I eat. That's why I drink. That's why I breathe. Is so that God would receive glory. And that's why we give. We don't give so we can get. The Bible does not promise you'll be blessed with dollar signs for the S's in the middle of that word if you give to God. That should not be your motivation. I've explained that before, so let's not get into that. Let's look now at verse number 7. So you understand, before verse 7, you understand what's going on, right? You have Achaia, you have Macedonia. Macedonia bad, Achaia good. On the same page? Any questions? And Paul's saying, he's saying Achaia, okay, this would be the church in Corinth, also as part of Achaia. He's saying, you guys together said you're going to give an amount, and you said the amount was ready 1 year ago. I told the people in Macedonia, hey guys, you need to be generous too. Fulfill what you said you're going to do too, because they already did it in Achaia. So Paul is reminding the church at Corinth, I hope we are not embarrassed. Paul said, not just you guys, I also will be embarrassed if what you said is not true. So it is true, right? That's what Paul is saying to Corinth. And so what is he encouraging those people in Corinth and in Achaia to do? He's encouraging them to make sure that their giving is ready, like he said. Make sure you're giving. And verse 7, every man according as he purposeth in his heart, so let him give. Oops. It says, whose heart? Whose heart? His own heart. His own heart. Whose purpose? His own purpose. As he purposes in his heart. So let him give. Let's say that I have a heart to give to something. Okay? Let's say I feel bad for, who's the richest person in here? Besides me. Okay? Len, you have a car, right? Does anybody else have a car besides Len here? Haha, we're going to figure out Len. Alright. Let's say that Len's air conditioning is not cooling the way she likes. It's cooling, yeah, it works, but it could be a little bit better. Okay? And let's say that in my mind, Sister Len is suffering. Her air conditioning in her car is not cooling down fast enough. So I go before the church and I purpose in my heart that we need to raise funds for Sister Len's air conditioning in her car. Whose purpose is that? Is that yours? No. Is that even Len's? No. No! Whose purpose was it? No. That's the purpose in my heart. So should you be giving to something that is in someone else's heart to give? No. No! So don't do it. Yeah. Don't do it. If it's not a purpose in your heart, don't give it. Man. If someone says, hey, can I get 1.5? Can I get 1.3? 1K even? Just 1K. Hey, guess what? You did not purpose that in your heart. That was someone else's purpose in their heart. Paul says you better give according to the purpose in your own heart, not somebody else's. So if you're going to come and pressure someone else to give, you're wrong. I don't know how else to say it, but I'm reading from the Bible. Someone help me if I'm getting this interpretation wrong. Here's the interpretation. It says, every man according as he purposeth in his heart, so let him give. I'm interpreting it this way. That if it's in your heart to give, then you give. If it's in someone else's heart to give, then you don't give. You give according to the purpose in your own heart. That's how I'm interpreting it. Amen. Someone help me. Am I interpreting this wrong? If so, how am I interpreting this wrong? I'm interpreting it literally. And that is, if it's your purpose in your heart, then you give. If it's not the purpose in your own heart, you don't give. That's my interpretation. I don't see any other interpretation. There's only one. Now, how might we apply this? Application. Now remember, there's many applications. There's only one interpretation. If we all agree on this interpretation, what applications can we make from this? Giving you this pause because I want you to think of it from your own mind. I can tell you the application. And you might sit there and say, well, I disagree. And you might be right and I might be wrong. So I want you to think about it in your own mind. What is the application I should be making from this interpretation, from this text? Let me ask you, should we be leaning on people? Exist. Young people, boys. Should we be leaning on them and pressuring them and influencing them and trying to get money out of them when it's not the purpose in their heart? I'm asking you the questions. What do you think? Should we be doing that or we should not be doing it? It's black or white, folks. It's not gray. It's either yes or it's a no. It's an on or off switch. There's no dimmer. Either lights on or lights off. Either we do it or we don't do it. According to this verse, should we be pressuring people, influencing people, coaxing people, calling out people? Hey, you back there, third row, second from the left, let us see. Did you give what you said you're going to give? Can I count on you to give this? That's purposing in someone else's heart, not your own. Paul's saying, do I want you to give, Achaia? I do. Did you say you did? You said you did. I told Macedonians, the lazy, disgusting Macedonians, I told them you gave already. You did give, right? And Paul says, I want you to give according to your own purpose and not out of covetousness. I want you to give as you see fit and not as I see fit or someone else sees fit. So if I had a pet project, okay, like for example, yesterday I came in and to be honest, I wasn't happy. RJ had a toothache. He could not sleep. He was in a lot of pain. They said he almost cried.
I did cry.
Okay, I was saying I would cry. I've never had a toothache in my life. Okay, Americans are weird about teeth. Just going to tell you, weird, very weird about teeth. We don't mind going blind. We don't mind going deaf. We don't mind if our nose doesn't work. But we like to have our teeth work. It's just an American cultural thing. My parents, dead broke. Could not afford glasses, contacts for me, but better believe I got my teeth cleaned every 6 months. It's just an American thing. So I come in, and I've never had a toothache. I've heard stories about it. I know there's major nerve centers that go to your teeth. And RJ has a toothache. Couldn't sleep. Needs 300 pesos. That's what he needs. Needed 2 teeth pulled, needed 300 pesos. He didn't have it. He had no money. Okay? There was no go to the church, ask for money. There was no one to go to. You know what that says to me? It says to me that something is broken. Okay? Do you think that as a church family, do you think that we should be able to afford electricity for our church building? It's important, right? It's pretty good. It's nice to have these air conditioners running, right?
Yes.
What's more important? That we have working air conditioners, or that one of us has 300 pesos so we don't have a life and death toothache? What do you think is more important? I would rather shut off all the electricity for a month than to have to endure a toothache. And I think you would too. So if one of us has a toothache and can't find 300 pesos with all of us brothers and sisters together, we could have all donated 5, 10 pesos and got RJ his tooth pulled like he needed. We could have done it, but we didn't. Something's broken. We have money for rent. We have money for electricity. But something's broken. Okay? This is the type of thing. This is why we have a church. Okay? We have a church not for the world. Inside the church is for each other. That's why we have a church membership. Why? So we don't... I can't look out after those people down there in the 3rd and the 2nd and the ground floors. They're not part of our membership. We can't help those people. with their life. We can help them with the gospel. That's it. If you're helping the lost people with something besides the gospel, you're wasting your breath and your time and your money. What the lost people need are not pesos and dollars. They need the gospel. Amen. But if they're in our church and they're one of us as members, that's where our money should be going. And if it's not, then it's broke. So I cannot come up here and say, I have a purpose in my heart that we help RJ get his tooth. Now it's too late, okay? But that would be the purpose in my heart. It would be just as wrong for me to say, my purpose is to help RJ get his tooth pulled, than it would be for me to say, I want to help Sister Len so her air conditioner works better in her car. That's someone else's purpose. So unless I'm interpreting this wrong, or I'm applying this wrong, I don't think that we should take up a purpose that is not in your own heart. It should come from your own heart. You give as you purpose and not someone else pressuring you to purpose. That's your heart. Paul, the Apostle Paul. I don't think any of us here are apostles. I don't think any of us here are Apostle Paul. He said, I won't even do it. If anyone is allowed to pressure someone to give, that would be Paul. And if ever there was a very good reason to give, the church in Jerusalem starving and going for persecution, that would be a good cause. But Paul says, I'm not going to do it. And you have spiritual babies in the church standing up and saying, I'm wiser and more mature than Paul could ever dream that man could not touch my shadow in spirituality. I will go where Paul would not. Better be very careful. There's a saying that said, fools tread where angels fear to tremble. Okay? That means an angel would say, whoa, I'm not powerful enough, I'm not strong enough to go there, but a fool who doesn't know the danger will charge right in. Be careful. Look at your Bible. Or tell me where it is that I'm getting this wrong. Okay? So let's continue to look at verse 7. It says, every man according as he purposed in his heart, so let him give. Okay? He, his, him. Got your personal pronouns, right? He is him. Who's that talking about? That same individual, right? Very, very, very clear. As he purposes his heart, him give. No one else's heart. No one else is giving. No one else's purpose. Clear. Very clear. Not grudgingly or of necessity. Sometimes there will be a necessary thing. Guess what, people? We don't have money to pay rent. So what do? Reach into our pocket. Well, we got to pay rent. You know what that's called? It's called giving of necessity. What's worse than giving of necessity? What's better? If you have to give because it's necessary. If you're giving, well, it's a need, I have to do it. I don't want to do it, but I have to. It's necessary. Or we can't have a place to meet for church. You know what's better? Is not to have a place to meet for church. Go meet under an apple tree. Go meet in the parking lot. Than to ask someone to give out of necessity. We should not be giving out of necessity. That means it's a requirement, therefore I give because it's required. Put your face into the Bible and read it. It says, not of, right here, verse 7, let me give not grudgingly or of necessity. Should we be giving because it's necessary? No, we should not. You better give or we can't pay rent. Of necessity. Don't give. Don't give. Let rent go unpaid and get evicted. You better pay or you're not going to get electricity. You guys like your electricity. If you're giving because it's of necessity, don't give. Better to not have electricity. It says don't give of necessity. That means because it is necessary, out of need. Out of there being a need. That should not be because you give. There's a need, that's why I give. Well then don't give. Do you see the need? The need is great. Don't give because of the need. The mission field is great. Look at that need. We don't give because of the need. We give because we want to glorify God. Amen. We don't send out evangelists because there's a need. We send out evangelists because it glorifies God. We don't start churches because we want people to be saved. We start churches because we want to glorify God. It's not about the need. Every missions conference, you have missionaries come from mission boards and say, oh, look at the need. It's not about the need. It's about glorifying God. Do not give because of need. If it's out of necessity, don't give. Let the lights get turned off. We can still hear each other. You can shut this microphone off. I can get a whole lot louder than this. Ask my children. You don't have to have a microphone. We can hand fan ourselves. We don't need these air conditioners. But what we do need is that you give for the right reason. And you don't give out of necessity. And you don't give grudgingly. What's grudgingly? Elijah comes on. What is grudgingly? If you give out of a grudge, grudgingly, what is that? You can get help if you want from the audience. I'll give you 3 lifelines. 50-50. Hold the audience or phone a friend. Grudgingly. What does it mean to give grudgingly? Do you need a lifeline or you know it? Okay, he doesn't know it. Alright, what lifeline would you like to do? Hold the audience, 50-50, or phone a friend? Phone a friend. Alright, we gotta pick a friend in here. Which friend do you want to pass this off to? Huh? Alright, Vincent, phone a friend. What does it mean to give grudgingly?
Wait, I'm just...
Yeah, you're allowed to cheat. Alright, what does it mean?
I don't know. I can...
Back to you then, Elijah. I'm sorry, the friend just hung up and said I don't know. Now it's back to you. What does it mean to give grudgingly? Okay, you know what collateral damage is? You know what that is or no? Collateral damage is when, let's say there's a terrorist and he's in a house. And then the Americans send a drone and they bomb the house. Everybody in the house dies. Okay? The wife, the children, they all die. But they had to kill the terrorist, so the wife and children become collateral damage. Okay? So Sister Wa, you are collateral damage. You are sitting next to Elijah Puntala. Can you tell us what does grudgingly? To give grudge should not set by him. I told you. Everyone who sits next to him is damaged. Sister Wa, what does it mean to give grudgingly? Boom. Got it. That's right. Your heart's not right. You're giving it because, oh, fine. I don't want to give this. It's not my purpose to give this. But I'm giving it because of pressure. I'm giving it because of necessity. I'm not giving because I want to. I'm giving it because I feel like I have to. I'm being told to do it. I'm being forced to do it. It's not in my heart, but I'm being pressured into it. Badgered into it. That's grudging. Should we give grudgingly?
No.
So someone says, come on, we really need the money. Oh, fine. That's grudging. Don't give grudging. Better to not give at all. Should we give because of the need? No, we don't give because of the need. We don't do that. Why should we give? Let's find out. It says not grudgingly or of necessity, for God loveth a cheerful giver. Okay? You give because you want to give. You give because you love. You give because you want to glorify God. You don't give to receive anything in return. Whatever you get in return is not money. Just God gives you more grace. Okay? God's grace is sufficient, but He will give you more than what is sufficient. How are you going to get that extra grace? You're going to buy it? No. Your heart, don't give. Don't give. So quickly, what about tithing? Okay? Tithing predates the law, so it's not just a law thing. And some people say, well, it's part of the law. Well, tithing predates the law. We saw that Abraham gave tithes. Okay? Let's look at, so you still have to give your tithe. That's outside the law. Let's look at Matthew chapter 6. Matthew chapter 6, verse 1. Okay? How else ought we to give? How else should we give? Matthew chapter 6, verse number 1. If you have a red letter Bible, you'll see that these words are in red. What does that mean?
Jesus.
Okay. You think Jesus is wrong sometimes? I don't personally believe that Jesus was ever wrong. Okay? But I think we do apply this as if we are right and Jesus is wrong. So let's try not to do that. Can we agree? We agree, right? Let's try to apply this with the understanding Jesus is not wrong. Alright? And everything we are about to read is correct. Can we all agree on that?
Amen.
Alright, let's just agree with on that, and let's just see where this takes us. Matthew chapter 6, verse 1. Take heed that ye do not your alms before men. What's an alm? Alms is your charitable giving. Okay? To be seen of them. Okay? Otherwise, ye have no reward of your Father which is in heaven. Well, that stinks. Okay? So here's what this says. Correct me if I'm wrong. But if you're giving, alms giving here is charitable giving. If you're doing it so that way people will see you giving, you get no reward from God. True or false? That's what Jesus said. Whether it's true or not, it depends if you believe Jesus or not. Okay? If you don't believe Jesus, you have a problem. But that's clearly what Jesus said.
Amen.
If you're giving, and other people are seeing you give, and you're giving so other people can also see you, you get no reward. And he'll explain why. Therefore, when thou doest thine alms, do not sound the trumpet before thee. Hey everybody! Do-do-do-do! I'm about to give 1,503 pesos and 25 centavos. Okay? You don't do that. Why not? What does it make you? What is the next three words? As hypocrites.
Amen.
You do that, you're a hypocrite. Don't be a hypocrite. Alright? Don't be a hypocrite. As the hypocrites do in the synagogues and in the streets, is Jesus happy or sad with how people are giving money in their synagogues? Sad. What does he call those people that give money in the synagogues? Hypocrites. Why? Because they're doing it in front of men, publicly before men. He says that they may have glory of men. So in their synagogues, who's getting glory? Themselves or God? Who's getting glory in their synagogues? According to Jesus.
Amen.
Who is it? Is it man or God? Man. Not God. They, verily I say unto you, they have their reward. So when you give, and people see you giving, and it's public, and people give you praise, oh wow, he gave 1,503 pesos and 25 centavos. Wow. You just lost your reward in heaven. You just got your reward just now by people thinking, wow, you're really great, you're special. There's your reward. Who gets glory? You or God? You do. Who does not get glory? God does not get glory. So is Jesus happy or sad with these people giving in their synagogues? He's sad. He's not happy. Alright? Verse 3. But when thou doest alms, let not thy left hand know what thy right hand doeth. Your left hand. Do you know how much my right hand gave? No. Well, you're not going to. Okay, right hand. Did you tell left hand how much you gave? No. Well, don't tell them. Okay? In other words, you keep your giving as secret as you possibly can. If it's possible for you to split your body and the left side doesn't know, then do that if that's possible. In other words, if you could even keep it secret from yourself, do it. Can, obviously. But, he said, you keep that as secret as you possibly can. Amen. That's how you want to give. And when you don't glorify God. And if you give and other people see it, you glorify yourself. And who's the one glorifying you? Not God. It's those people that saw what you gave. They're the ones that glorify you. They're not glorifying God. God's not going to glorify you. You glorify yourself before man and not God. Later, if we have time, we're going to see what Paul says, or Solomon says. It says, God has no time for fools like you. Ecclesiastes 5:5. He has no time for fools like you that will do something that foolish. It says, Verily I say unto you, they have a reward. But when thou doest thine alms, let not thy left hand know what thy right hand doeth, that thine alms may be in secret. There's three things we do in secret as believers. We fast in secret. We pray in secret. And we give in secret. If you're saying, I've been fasting for 1 week, everybody. For what purpose? For your own. But if you want to fast and privately before God, and say, God, there's something that I want more than I want food. Okay? See, RJ back there eating noodles right now. Can't even sit through church without eating food. Alright? Can't even fast for an hour. So he's not a hypocrite. Might be glutton. Not a hypocrite. So you don't tell people I'm fasting. You just do it, shut up, and glorify God. You don't tell people I prayed for 35 minutes this morning. Shut up and just pray. You glorify God. And you don't do it with your giving either. I'm a big giver, I'm a good giver. God says, I'm sick of your synagogues are filled with hypocrites because they give to be seen and God did not like that type of giving. He says that thy alms may be in secret. When you give your alms, it should be in secret. Why? So that way God gets glory and not you. When you give in the church, should it be in secret? Yes, it should. Why? The same reason. So that God will get glory, receive glory, and not you. You say, well, this is alms, this is not the church. Well, God's not happy with how they gave. Some people say, well, when Jesus saw the widow with her 2 mites, you know, and he's sitting there next to the treasury, he saw the rich people. See, they were giving to God and the church, and it was public, and Jesus was happy. First of all, it wasn't the church, it was the synagogue. Read the chapter. Second of all, Jesus just said the people who give in the synagogues to be seen of men are hypocrites. He's not happy about it. And third, if you look at the context, he's saying, you Pharisees, you want the best place to sit in the synagogue. You want to give them money so you get glory. Read the context of what's going on. Whether it's almsgiving, synagogue giving, church giving, I don't care. Giving. If you're giving and it's not in secret, it's for other people to see, God's not getting glorified.
Amen.
It should be in secret. That's what Jesus said. Jesus is right every other time. Why would he be wrong here? I don't understand. It says, and thy Father which seeth in secret himself shall reward thee openly. Then it gets down to praying, and then it gets down to fasting. What 3 topics did Jesus cover here? Giving, praying, and fasting. Guess what he says all 3 should be done? Secretly. Do you think that's a coincidence? Do you think, well, yeah, fasting, definitely, we all agree, Jesus is right. When you fast, it should be in secret. Don't go telling people about it. Oh, yeah, for sure, praying. Don't go bragging about how long you prayed. It should be between you and God. Yes, Jesus was right. Oh, you mean we're supposed to give in secret? Oh, no, Jesus was wrong. Jesus had no idea what he's talking about. Jesus was drinking the wine at Cana at the wedding. Jesus is right. You pray, you fast, you give in secret. Otherwise, you get glory from men. You don't glorify God. When you give secretly, God's going to reward you openly. You will get glory from God and not from men. And that's what we should live and breathe and eat and drink. Our desire every day, that God be glorified in our lives. That's how we ought to give. Secretly. For their own purpose. For a cheerful heart. Not to receive any kind of blessings in return. Could God make you a millionaire because you're faithful in money? He can. But he doesn't promise he will. He says he's going to have grace abound to you. You're going to get more grace. That's better than money. You might have your relationships improved. You might have a better marriage. You might have a better relationship with your children. You might have more respect at work or at home. You might have better health, longer life. You might have something special where God says, because you've been faithful in your giving, I'm going to reward you with a special opportunity to glorify me more. Man. I'm going to kill your family and give you boils. Maybe. Maybe, probably not. Alright, so what about vows? Okay? We find the word vow in the Bible 68 times. We find the word vow 66 times in the Old Testament. So how many times do we see the word vow in the New Testament? Very good. 2 times. And both times it has a negative connotation. It's a bad idea. One time was when Paul made a vow, and then later it cost him. Okay, we'll probably talk about that in the next service, the bad vow that Paul made. And then the other time the word vow is when men said, we have a vow that we will murder Paul, or we will not eat again. Good vow or bad vow? So we see vow, the word vow, twice in the New Testament. Both are bad. Okay? Both are bad. So what does the Bible say about making a vow? Let's look at Matthew chapter 5. Matthew chapter 5, verse 34. Matthew chapter 5, let's read verse 33. Again, ye have heard that it hath been said by them of old time, thou shalt not forswear thyself, but shalt perform unto the Lord thine oaths. Okay? The vow. You know. But I say unto you, swear not at all. Okay, that word swear is not using a cuss word. That means I solemnly swear. Okay? What would you also call that a vow? Alright? Making a vow. You swear something. Okay? When I talk, I don't ever say, I swear I'll do it. I never say that. Okay, sometimes they'll say promise. I just don't. I just fear to say that word. Here Jesus says, what does he say about making vows? Making oaths. Swearing this, swearing that. What does he say? How often should we do it? 7 times a day? 7 times a week? 7 times a month? 777 times a year. What number does it give? What number? 0. Don't do it at all. Don't do it at all. Nowhere, after Jesus makes the statement, nowhere does anyone make a vow anymore in the Bible, and it was good. Only bad. And it was only twice. And both were bad. So it says, but I say unto you, swear not at all. So don't do it. But I really want to do it. Don't do it. Don't swear. Neither by heaven, for it is God's throne. So what people were doing was, you ever hear someone say, I swear on my mother's grave? You ever hear that? Yeah. I swear by my children. Well, the Jews were becoming professionals at that. I swear by heaven that I will pay you back. So help me God. And guess what? That's God's throne. Jesus says, don't swear by heaven. Okay? He says, some people say, I swear by this earth. Jesus says, the earth's his footstool. Don't swear by the earth. I swear by the holy city of Jerusalem, I'll pay you back with interest. Jesus says, that's the city of the great king. Don't swear by Jerusalem or the earth. It's his footstool. Or by heaven. That's his throne. Don't swear by thy head. You can't make one hair white or black. May God turn my hair white and make me old and wrinkly if I don't pay you back with interest. Don't swear by your head. Don't swear by anything. Swear not at all. Verse 37. But let your communication be yea, yea, nay, nay. So whatsoever is more than these cometh of evil. What does Jesus say about taking vows? He says, if you say you're going to do it, then that's it. Don't swear by this, and vow by that, and promise this, and oath that, and give this and that. He's saying, if you say you're going to do it, you do it. If you don't say you're not going to do it, then you don't do it. Man. Let your yea be yea, your nay be nay, and that's it. I promise. Where do I sign? I'll vow it, I'll oath it, I'll this it, I'll that it. Jesus said, don't do it. Don't do it. If you think it's a good idea, then why does Jesus say not a good idea? I swear by the form that I'm going to sign my name to with my signature. Jesus, don't swear. You say you're going to do it, do it. You don't have to say, but do you promise you're going to do it? Oh yes, I promise. You don't need to do it. If someone says, I'll do it, then your word is your bond. Your word should be as good as gold. If I say I'll do it, I'll do it. No, you better sign this paper. No, I don't need to sign the paper. Better swear by heaven. No, I'm not going to swear by heaven. If I say I'm going to do it, I don't need to take a vow. I don't need to take an oath. I'm just going to do it. My yea is yea. If I say no, then the answer is no. Yeah, can we do electronics? No, you're not doing electronics for the rest of your life. I broke that one a lot. Not no electronics for a year. Like 10 minutes later, okay, fine, electronics. My name's not really me. Right? Don't be like me, folks. Don't swear. Don't take oaths. Don't take vows. Okay? Just do what you're going to say. All right, let's look at Ecclesiastes, chapter 5. Ecclesiastes 5:4. When thou vowest a vow unto God, here's the Old Testament, before Jesus said, don't swear to him. When thou vowest a vow unto God, defer not to pay it, for he hath no pleasure in fools. You hear that? If you make a vow and you don't fulfill it, God has no pleasure in fools. What does God just call you? He called you a fool. Because you did not pay the vow. He says, pay that which thou hast vowed. Make a vow and pay it. That's why don't make any vow at all. And guess what? Don't break your vows. Look at the next verse, 5. Better is it that thou shouldest not vow than that thou shouldest vow and not pay. Clear? Simple? Black and white? Not shades of gray here, right? You can't make a vow. You can't be sure you're going to perform that vow. Don't vow. God takes no pleasure in fools. That's why personally I don't take vows. If you're giving out of necessity to fulfill a vow, first of all, I'd like to know how you're going to be able to have that to give. You're going to give $1,000 a day. How do you know if you're going to be alive to give it? It's kind of a hard vow. God, you got to keep me alive or I'm going to break my vow. It's hard to keep that vow. How do you know God's going to have you have a job? How do you know God's going to give you that money? All things come from God. It's not up to you, it's up to God. How are you going to keep that vow? Don't look at me. I don't know. I'm not the one who makes the vows. I know myself. I don't swear by anything. There's some things where I have to, like a marriage vow. But you think I'm going to go and vow something that I can't control, like my income? I can't control my income. Guess what could happen tomorrow? My income could be zero. I mean, how am I going to fulfill my vow? I can't. Is that my fault? No, God's the one who gives me my income. I can't say, God, give me this income because I need to keep my vow. God says, you think you're the one who makes that income? That's hilarious. That's cute. God says, I'm the one that gives you that income. Man, I'm the one that gives you the body and the mind to make that income. If I give it for my glory, I give it. If I don't, then I don't. I can do as I want. But how can you say, I vow that God will give me money to give? I don't know. I don't know how you do that. Personally, I have no idea. I vow I'll give this. Well, God is the one. So you're vowing that God will give me this to give. I don't know how you control God like that. I know I can't. And I don't know how you do it. Okay? So if you can't know that you can, now a marriage vow, yeah, you can control your own body. You can do that. You can control your own decisions. Am I going to cheat on my husband or wife? I can vow I'll do that or I won't. That's a vow you can make. But to know what you're going to make in a year from now, to know what your salary is going to be, to know what your income is going to be, I don't know how you know that. Maybe you do. Maybe you found it somewhere in the Bible. Your name's there. It tells you God is obligated to give you this money. Maybe. I don't know. There's things I don't know about the Bible. I don't understand something. Maybe this is one of those things. But for me personally, I don't know how I can vow that God will give something to me. I don't know. So you know what I do? I play it safe. When I stand before God, and God's going to say, hey, did you vow that you're going to give this amount and never do it? God's not going to call me a fool. You know why? Because I wasn't foolish enough to make the vow in the first place. I decided not to swear by anything at all. Amen. So God cannot say, I take no pleasure. So if you've made a vow, maybe you're already the fool for making the vow in the first place. But I can tell you what, if you made a vow, you have to fulfill it. You have to pay it. God has no pleasure in fools. A fool is someone who makes a vow and doesn't pay it. Probably better you not make any vow. That's my own personal view from what I see from others. We don't have time to get to the rest. But we're going to talk about giving. Make sure it's of your own purpose, your own heart, Give it out of love. Give it cheerfully. Not grudgingly, but listen. Okay? If you're going to make a vow, you better make it. You better know that you can keep the vow before you make it.
Amen.
And it's a whole lot better not to break. It's a whole lot better not to make any vows at all than to stand before God. And God says, I have no pleasure in fool. Don't want that.